In 1984, an Iranian architect stood in front of a room full of NASA rocket scientists in Houston, Texas, and proposed something nobody else had thought of. He told them how to build houses on the moon. His name was Nader Khalili. He was 47 years old. He had walked away from a six-figure architecture practice in Tehran and Los Angeles 10 years earlier to ride a motorcycle through the deserts of Iran for 5 years, studying how the poorest people in his home country had been building shelters for thousands of years, out of nothing but the dirt under their feet. The NASA scientists had no idea what to do with him. But one of them, a man named Wendell Mendel, had been quietly trying for years to revive the dream of a permanent base on the moon. He had organized that 1984 symposium specifically to find ideas that nobody at NASA was already working on. When Khalili presented his concept, called Velcro Adobe, Mendel understood immediately. The same technique that could shelter desert refugees with no money and no tools could shelter astronauts on a lunar base with no supply chain back to Earth. Same problem, different planet. A few years later, in 1995, the technique was deployed for real, not on the moon, in Iran, by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, to house thousands of Iraqi refugees fleeing the Persian Gulf War. Sandbags, barbed wire, local soil, built by the refugees themselves, including women, children, and the elderly. The shelters survived earthquakes. They survived floods. They survived sandstorms. They survived fires. In 2004, Khalili was awarded the Aga Khan Award for Architecture, the most prestigious honor in Islamic architecture, for sandbag shelters built with this same system. By the time he died in 2008, the California Institute of Earth Art and Architecture, which he had founded in the Mojave Desert town of Hesperia, had passed every test required by the International Code Council. The technique was officially permittable in California. The hurricane resistance had been measured. The seismic performance had been documented. The fire resistance had been certified. His invention was called Super Adobe. You can build a hurricane-proof, fire-proof, flood-proof, earthquake-resistant home for under $5,000 in materials using this technique. You can do it without specialized contractors. You can do it without heavy equipment. You can do it on land that conventional builders would refuse to touch. And in almost every county in America, you cannot legally do it on your own property without spending tens of thousands of dollars on engineering reviews, code variances, and special inspections that most homeowners simply abandon before they finish. This is the story of how one man invented a building system for the poorest refugees on Earth and the highest scientists in space, and how the wealthiest country in the world somehow made it almost impossible to use. If you find these stories worth preserving, the kind of knowledge that does not get taught in school, subscribe to Cryptos. We dig through architectural archives, NASA papers, and field reports from places most people never visit, so the systems that worked for our grandparents and could work for us again do not get lost. Every subscription tells the algorithm that this kind of forgotten engineering deserves to stay findable. Now let us get into how this works. The Super Adobe system has only 4 ingredients: long woven polypropylene tubes, the kind used in commercial agriculture for grain storage. They come in rolls. They cost about 50 cents per linear foot. Earth, whatever soil is available on site. Sand, clay, silt, gravel, almost anything works as long as it can be compacted. The earth costs nothing because you are standing on it. Barbed wire. 2 strands run between every layer of bags. The barbed wire costs roughly $30 per $100 feet at any farm supply store. A small percentage of stabilizer, usually 10 to 15% Portland cement or hydrated lime mixed into the soil before bagging. This is what gives the structure its long-term durability and weather resistance. That is it. 4 materials. The soil itself is the structure. The bag holds it together while it is being placed. The barbed wire prevents the bags from sliding against each other. The stabilizer locks everything into a single monolithic shell once the structure is finished. Now, here is what makes the engineering elegant. Traditional Adobe construction uses bricks. Adobe bricks are formed individually, dried in the sun, and stacked with mortar. They are heavy, they are slow to make, and they have one critical weakness. They have no tensile strength. If the wall flexes, the mortar joints fail and the wall collapses. This is why almost every traditional Adobe building in earthquake country eventually falls down. Khalili realized that if you put the soil inside a continuous tube instead of forming individual bricks, you got something fundamentally different. The bag wraps the soil. The soil compresses inside the bag. And when you stack hundreds of bags into a continuous spiral, you get a structure that behaves more like a single woven garment than a stack of separate bricks. Then he added the barbed wire between layers. This is the part that earned the patent. 2 strands of barbed wire laid horizontally between every course of bags. The barbs grip the polypropylene weave on both sides. The bags above cannot slide off the bags below. He called it Velcro Adobe at first because the barbed wire works like Velcro, mechanically locking the layers together. Engineers later realized this is exactly what an Adobe wall needs to survive an earthquake. The continuous tube and the barbed wire give the wall tensile strength that a stacked brick wall cannot have. When the ground shakes, the structure flexes slightly and snaps back. It does not collapse. The dome shape adds the final piece. A dome distributes its weight outward and downward in pure compression. There are no flat surfaces for hurricane winds to grab. There are no corners where stress can concentrate. There are no joints where water can intrude. The aerodynamic form resists hurricane winds. The thick earth walls absorb seismic energy. The earth material itself does not burn. The shape sheds water naturally. Earth alone is fireproof. Earth alone is bulletproof up to small caliber rounds. Earth alone has thermal mass that keeps interiors cool in summer and warm in winter without any active heating or cooling. Khalili did not invent any of these properties. He simply combined them in a form that any human being with strong hands and a few weekends could replicate, anywhere on Earth, using whatever soil was under their feet, or as it turns out, on Mars. In 1984, when Khalili presented to NASA, the scientists in the room understood immediately that the same technique would work in space. On the Moon, you have lunar regolith, fine, abrasive, mineral-rich dust. You also have polypropylene that astronauts can bring with them. You also have human ingenuity. What you do not have is a supply chain back to Earth. Every brick you have to ship from Earth costs tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram. But if you can build with the dust already there, you have unlimited material for free. Khalili was invited to Los Alamos National Laboratory as a visiting scientist. His papers were published in NASA Symposia. The American Society of Civil Engineers gave him an award for his lunar and Martian base building work. He spent the rest of his life splitting his attention between desperately poor refugees on Earth and theoretical astronauts in space, and he saw no contradiction in that. The same architecture worked for both. The same dignity belonged to both. People who had nothing on this planet and people who would have nothing when they landed on the next one all needed the same thing: a roof made from what was already there. Now let me walk you through how a Super Adobe dome actually gets built. This is not a weekend project, but it is also not an impossible one. You start with the foundation, a circular trench dug roughly 30 to 60 centimeters deep depending on your soil and frost line. The trench is filled with rubble, compacted gravel, or stabilized earth. This is the base ring. You set the center pole, a vertical pole with a movable arm attached at the top, called a compass tool. The arm swings horizontally around the center. This compass is what gives every layer its perfect circle. You start filling the bags. 2 people work as a team. One person holds the open mouth of the polypropylene tube. The other shovels stabilized earth into it. As the bag fills, the team lays it flat in a continuous coil. You tamp. Every section of every bag gets compacted with a hand tamper before the next layer goes on top. This is the part that becomes physically demanding by the 3rd or 4th day. Tamping is what turns loose dirt into structural material. You lay the barbed wire. 2 parallel strands of barbed wire on top of the completed first layer. The barbs face up. The next layer of bags is placed directly on top of this wire. Once you have 3 or 4 layers stacked, the system is mechanically locked. You repeat, layer after layer. As the wall rises, the compass arm shortens, drawing each layer slightly inward. By the time you reach the top of a small dome, the layers are tilted at almost 45 degrees, spiraling inward to close the roof. A small dome of about 4 meters in diameter can be built by 2 people in roughly 10 to 14 days of focused work. Multi-room houses are typically built as clusters of interconnected domes and barrel vaults. Kitchens often use the barrel vault form for ceiling height. The exterior is finished with a plaster coat. This is critical. Polypropylene degrades under ultraviolet light from the sun. Within a few years of exposure, the bags would weaken and fail. The plaster coat both protects the bags and gives a waterproof skin. Total material cost for a small one-room dome runs roughly $3,000 to $5,000 in the United States. Larger structures rarely exceed $10,000. Compare that to the median cost of a conventional new build, currently around $400,000. Now let me be honest about where this fails. Soil selection matters more than you think. Pure clay soils crack. Pure sand soils never bind. The ideal mix is roughly 30% clay, 70% sand, and silt. Most builders skip this step. Stabilizer ratios matter. Too little cement and the structure absorbs water. Too much and you waste money and reduce breathability. The right ratio depends on your soil and your climate. Cal Earth recommends a test build first. Tamping is the part where amateurs hit a wall. Inadequate tamping creates settlement issues that show up months later as cracks in the plaster or sagging arches. There are no shortcuts. Every bag gets tamped. Every layer gets compacted. UV protection is the slowest failure to detect. 6 months of direct sun on uncoated bags is enough to weaken the polypropylene to the point of structural failure during the next storm. The plaster coat is not optional. It is the only thing keeping the system together. So why is this not standard housing in America? This part is easy to misread as conspiracy. It is not. It is structural. American building codes are written around dimensional lumber, manufactured concrete blocks, and factory-produced steel framing. The International Residential Code provides what are called prescriptive pathways. If you build with approved materials, your inspector signs off. If you build with anything else, you need a state-licensed engineer to accept liability. That review typically costs $5,000 to $15,000, plus permits, plus special inspections, plus revised drawings. By the time you have legally compliant drawings in hand, you have spent the cost of the structure on paperwork. CalEarth has established precedent in California, but most of the country has no building official familiar with it. Banks will not finance unconventional housing. Homeowners insurance refuses to cover it. Real estate appraisers value it at zero. The legal pathway exists, but it has been quietly walled off by accumulated bureaucracy. Meanwhile, the UN has used it in over a dozen countries. The technique is being taught from Brazil to South Africa to the Philippines. The Khalili family continues to operate CalEarth, where you can take a course and walk away with skills. The intellectual property has been freely placed at the service of humanity. There is no patent fee. There is no licensing requirement for personal use. The technique is not banned. The materials are not regulated. The knowledge is not classified. It is simply hidden behind a wall of regulatory friction that most homeowners run into and give up before they cross. Khalili himself was philosophical about all of this. He had walked away from architecture for the wealthy to spend the rest of his life solving shelter for the poor. He saw the same problem on the moon and in the refugee camp. People who had nothing, who needed something, who were standing on the only material they would ever have. His answer was always the same. Use what is already there. Trust the geometry. Trust the dirt. And here is the practical bottom line. You do not need a super Adobe dome on your property tomorrow. You can keep living in whatever you already live in. But if the cost of conventional housing keeps climbing, if natural disasters keep destroying houses, if your kids end up priced out of every market, this is the kind of alternative that used to be available to anyone with a shovel and a few weekends. A small starter home built for the price of a used car, on land you already own, designed to outlast you. If you want to start, do not pour your own foundation tomorrow. Take the CalEarth workshop first. Read Khalili's book, Sidewalks on the Moon. Build a 1.5-meter test dome in your backyard with a few bags of stabilized soil. See how the geometry works in your hands. Then decide whether the full project is worth the work. Nader Khalili died in 2008. His system did not. The dirt under your feet is the same dirt under everyone else's feet. The bag is at the agricultural supply store, the wire is at the farm store. The instructions are in books that cost less than a grocery run. Nobody is building this for you, but nobody is stopping you either.